Live streaming is on.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Sons and Daughters of Liberty. I hope everyone is doing fine on this lovely, frigid Saturday afternoon. And apparently my mic. There it is. No, it's been a while since I've last done a podcast. But I've been, back to the overtime grind. So I've been kind of busy. The past month or so. Plus, I had to play a little catch up on the Bills after being down with pneumonia and kind of got behind on some bills. So the overtime was much needed, but taxing nonetheless. But it's been a while since I've done a Ramblings of the Chaotic Mind. I gotta admit, it's been long overdue. Actually, I think it's been well over 7 months since I last done one. We've done regular podcasts with guests and stuff, but it's been a long time since I've just done one to rant and rave. Boy, do we got a lot to rant and rave about, don't we? Gas prices through the roof. I mean, for almost 2 weeks, it went up literally 10 cents a day around here. I'm going to say thankfully, but it's not something I'm thankful for. But thankfully, it's kind of stopped at $4.25. Ridiculous still, nonetheless. I mean, it's almost went up a full dollar in 2 weeks for where it was. Actually, over $1. You know, it just amazes me. I guess a couple of stories that kind of got my blood really boiling this week was our government's inability to do their jobs. They want to give billions and trillions to help Ukraine, but we have our own crisis in our own country. We got people barely getting by. I mean, shit, today, for instance, had to get groceries. Haven't got, got to ran it to the bare bones on the groceries because, play catch up on bills. Bills come first before restocking the pantry, right? No, you got real bad. I was on bare bones on everything. I mean, I was just buying just enough to get barely through the week last few weeks. So, kind of happy to be able to restock up and actually not have to worry about it for a couple of weeks now. But I mean, damn, I spent over $300 at Walmart. And it was ridiculous. I go to Aldi's, spend $140, and walk out with twice the amount of food items that I bought at Walmart. This is something I won't buy at Aldi. I don't trust their meats, or breads and stuff. So there's some things I will still buy at Walmart. But I mean, last Sunday, I wanted to make some jambalaya. Haven't had any in a while. I was craving it. I only needed two things. I needed some shrimp and some sausage, and I needed a six pack of Mountain Dew for work. $20 for 3 items. I mean, ridiculous. Then you add on the fact that you're paying $4.25 at the gas pump. So I went from filling up at like $21, $23 to $34. I mean, that $10, pretty much about $10 increase on what I pay for gas, and I gas up twice a day. When I did 2-hour drive, I got 120 mile drive. So yeah, it eats into the pocket quick. I could go every 2 days without gassing up, but I actually saved myself $20 by gassing up at 3/4 of the tank instead of letting it go to half and spending $20 more in gas. Instead of $30, it's like more like $80. Actually, now it's more like almost probably 90 to fill up from a half a tank. I got a 50-gallon tank, so yeah. Just when you thought you got caught up in the bills, here comes this situation that, let's keep it real. It's none of our goddamn business. Who gives a fuck what Russia does? Who gives a fuck what Ukraine does? Really, I don't. Not my country. And let's go one step farther. NATO didn't give a fuck because they rejected them. But now they want to help them because, it's Russia. Kiss my ass. One thing Trump got right was getting us out of NATO. Because we're the first ones they call upon. We pay the most. We get drug into stupid little crap like we are now. But our politicians use it as an excuse to, let's send trillions of dollars that we don't have. Fuck the American people. Let's worry about another country's people. Let's get mixed up in something that could potentially escalate into war. And if you listen to the rhetoric, they're trying to escalate it to begin with. Our so-called president. Amnesia patient 101. Oh, guys, sorry. I'm not actually paying attention to my chat. Not that it matters. I don't got no viewers. Besides after, we're heavily sanctioning, and gas prices are going up, he wants to do an executive order to limit more of our oil produce here in the United States. We need to go green. It's pretty sad. When Elon Musk, who's completely invested in Tesla, completely invested in, mind you, it's not green. Do your research on how they make the batteries. Research how much natural resources goes into making a battery that is not environmental friendly to begin with, because you can't recycle a battery. Most landfills hate taking them because it pollutes the soil when they put it in the dump. It's not green. Mind you, then let's go one step farther before we get to the point. We do not have the electrical grid to support all these charging stations. Our grid is outdated, needs fixed. The infrastructure of it needs redone. We're not ready for everybody to be driving an electric car that none of us can afford to begin with at $65,000 starting out. But even he said, and we got to give props to him, this obviously, man, he's wealthier than we can all imagine. But most businessmen not going to shoot themselves in the foot and say, hey, we need to open up our reserves and we need to start producing more oil to get over this. Which hurts his bottom dollar because he's invested in electric. You know, when a person like that, a businessman like that, is willing to open his mouth and say something like that, we should all listen. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Elon Musk. You know, I'm still waiting for him to keep his word and help out with the flip situation in Michigan. Actions do speak louder than words. Our politicians' actions, even clear down to our president, is they care more about foreign country, the people there, than they do the people they're supposed to represent. When they want to give trillions and billions of dollars to help another country, when our own very own country is in crisis. We've got issues at our border. Let's not talk about they want to send our border patrol to Poland to help with the border and the refugees coming in. I mean, come on. How ridiculous is that? How much more before you guys finally wake up? Oh, we're going to do some research here because something is nagging at me. But you know what we're not talking about? This is going to go to what's part of what's nagging me. We're not talking about the big red wave that everybody was talking about. We're not talking about Civil War. We're not talking about the trucker convoy that's happening here in the U.S. All of our focus is on, World War III, the conflict. Oh, we need to help those people. We need to help our own people. You know, I know people are going to get pissed off. Oh, you're not human. That's a very unhumane thing to say. No. I'm a very humane person. I mean, leaving Walmart, they gave this homeless vet $20. $20 a day. Really probably shouldn't have to. I'm not doing that well on money. But, you know what? It's freezing out. Here, go get something warm to drink. Maybe a room. Why? Because I felt the need to. Most times I drive right by him. Today I felt the need to. It's cold out. You know, most people care more about their damn animals than they do human beings anyway, so I don't ever want to hear somebody say, oh, you're inhumane. That's not right. There's people dying over there. Yeah, there's people dying right here in our own country. You know, I've mentioned this before in past podcasts, past ramblings of chaotic minds, and probably wrote about it. Get tired of seeing every natural disaster that doesn't happen here, that happens anywhere in the world. It's instant. They raise millions and millions of dollars. They got people eating a bunch of food. But when a crisis happens here in U.S. soil, not a damn thing unless it's we the people out there doing it. Oh, president's going to tour the area. Oh, we're going to give you some relief that you have to fight for tooth and nail to get. Red Cross and all them barely raise hardly any money when it's a national disaster that happens in our country, but heaven forbid it happens somewhere else. All these rich fucks, so-called celebrities, just donate, come on TV, mind you, they're getting paid to come on TV to get you to donate. They're worse than prostitutes. Actually, they are the true prostitutes and whores of this world. If you want to be downright truthful. They'll sell their fucking soul if it gets them paid. It was like yesterday. I stopped at my parents' house. Check mail. And pictures are doing all right. First thing is on until I walk in, CNN. Now I'm talking about how bad things the country is, how a beautiful city, how it's just been leveled and destroyed. I don't get my mom sometimes. I don't get my dad either. They believe everything that comes out of the mouth of CNN reporters or any of the news. I get it. Like I said, I'm American Brazilian. My mom was from Brazil. She went. That's why I said I know the immigration system's screwed up, and it costs lots of money to become a naturalized citizen here for a foreigner. It really does. She threw something in my face, and I'm like, you don't even know our family's history. She was made the point, well, I had to learn more history than you ever got taught in school. I'm like, huh? I'm like, you realize we're direct descendants of John Rutledge, right? She's like, oh, that's bullshit. I don't know where you get that. I'm like, because Uncle AJ took the time and researched our family lineages, clear down to I've read some of the personal journals that still exist of John Rutledge. She's like, well, we was never. She didn't even realize. Well, he was from the South. I'm like, that's where the Rutledges originated from. Then, at a given time, part of the family split and came up north from that split. It's sad. I know more of my family's history than my parents because they don't care. It's like my mom's talking about, oh, Brazil, this, even they're not fully back in Russia. And I'm like, no, but Brazil's still a socialist country. I hear you, bitch, complain about it all the time. I hear your family complain about it all the time. We've got all these freedoms here that they steadily try to take away from us. That every chance they get, they try to pull something during a crisis. What they say about crisis. It's the perfect opportunity for them. They'll make millions off it, and we suffer. It's also when it's like, smoke and mirrors. All of our attention's over here, and we're not paying attention to what they're doing. We're not paying attention that Congress, when they go to hear vote on bills, that the majority controls it. Then if somebody you might only have 10 people in there, and since the Democrats control it, it's automatically, if it's their bill, it's yay. Approved, pass, unless somebody calls a count. Then they got to round up all the congressmen and women to come in and vote and read the bill, which they're supposed to read anyway. But no, it don't happen. And that's both sides of the party that's guilty of that. Republicans and Democrats. That should infuriate every single one of you. That's how we get these stupid bills passed that completely destroy our country. There's not even our very own representatives that are supposed to represent we the people from our states don't even represent you because they're not in there to vote on a bill. But like I said, so there's no real talk of that red wave anymore, which I could care less either way because it's going to be the same song and dance. Nothing changes. We keep re-electing and putting the same type of people back in office. that do this stupid stuff, that don't set in there to hear a bill, and they let the majority just control the vote, say, yeah, pass, the ayes have it. Nobody cares about the nays because they're Republicans or they're Democrats, whichever has the control at the time. That should never happen. But like I said, I want to do some research. I can't share screens. I still haven't figured out why mine isn't allowing it, or it's something on my computer's end. I can't track it down. But I do want to research something. In the times of war, we know if we're in the middle of a war, that the president's seat cannot be transferred to the next voted in president until a time as such that there's a cease in conflict. Now, I'm lucky enough I got to witness it. First Bush was able to, for like 6 months, hold office for 6 months before Clinton could take over because of the Iraq War. Because Clinton could not take office during a crisis of war. And I'm pretty sure this also applies, and this is where we're going to do our research. I'm pretty sure it applies to our congressmen and women as well. Because they don't want changes to like the Pentagon and key advisors, secretaries of state in the middle of a conflict. And if you want to avoid a red wave, what better way to avoid it than do what they're doing with the rhetoric, keep pushing the issue, and get involved in a war, a world war, or just a war. But a world war would definitely keep these seditious, treasonous traitors in office. Maybe. I'm not positively sure on that. I know it applies to the president, but I'm pretty sure it also applies for Congress. Yeah, it's the 22nd Amendment. I know it applies to the president. Let's read it. Because we did have Roosevelt, I think it was Roosevelt, that actually served 3 terms. A person is limited to being elected twice or once if they've already served more than 2 years as a president. Congress passed the amendment on March 1947. It was ratified on 27, 1951. 1940, President Franklin D. Roosevelt won a third term. He also won a fourth term in 1944. Roosevelt was president through the Great Depression, the 30s, almost all of World War II. He held approval ratings in the mid-50 to the low 60 ranges over many years. Just months after the start of the sport, soon after, Republicans in Congress began to work to creating Amendment 22nd. Roosevelt was the first only president to serve more than 2 terms. The amendment was passed by Congress in 1947 and was ratified by the states on 27, 1951, February 27, 1951. 22nd Amendment says persons can only be elected to president 2 terms for a total of 8 years. It does make it possible for a person to serve up to 10 years. It does make it possible for a person to serve up to 10 years as a president. This can happen if the person, most likely the vice president, takes over for the president who can no longer serve their term. If the person serves 2 years or less of the preceding president's term, they may serve 2 more 4-year terms. If they serve more than 2 years, the last president's term, the new president can serve only 1 full year term under the language of the amendment. The president at the time of this ratification, Truman, was exempt from the 2-term limit. Truman served nearly all of Roosevelt's unexpired 4th term. Since 1985, there have been many attempts to either change or remove this amendment. This began when Ronald Reagan was serving his 2nd term as president. Since then, changes have been tried from both Democrats and Republicans. No changes have been made. There is some debate about this amendment works with the 12th Amendment. The 12th Amendment limits who can become vice president to only who meet requirements by being president. Try to find one before. Out of the U.S. presidents that are still alive in 2021, Bill Clinton, George Washington, Barack Obama could not be elected again because of this man. All of them were elected twice. Okay, that did not answer my question. And okay, there's also references to if a election cannot be held, which we almost had happen with the pandemic, but a world war can also cause elections not to be held, and the previous administration can stay in power. But I also know there's somewhere where it states that an administration can't take over during a time of war until like until there's a cease or per time of, where a transaction can happen where I'll have to do further research because it is interesting because you know I can see this playing out. I can see the part playing out where they won't hold elections, and that's a good possibility. Nobody's really talking about. And he's this escalation of Russia, and I don't see a world war happening. I don't see this conflict going anywhere because nobody wants to. I mean, our biggest threat for real is not Russia; it's China. Although they are seems to be allied, but Russia at once upon a time was our ally during World War II. And we all know Putin's getting up there in age. Just keep it real. Me personally, I see it as a ploy to, his last hurrah. He's trying to make Russia what it used to be. Seen an advantage. We have a weak administration to regain control of what used to be part of Russia. And China's all for backing them because it knows it's going to cripple its enemies. It's going to cripple us. Hell, we still buy oil from Russia. Well, we did up until the sanctions. It's gonna. We already seen wheat prices and grain prices go up this week. Farmers are sweating it because all the fertilizers that they buy. Come to find out, we don't even produce it here in the United States. We buy it from, that's it, Russia. We, as a nation, have become so dependent because our politicians have sold this country out repeatedly. Our rich, elite, wealthy business owners sold this out for cheap labor, went overseas, then shipped their shit back. So most of our products that we come to love, it's not even made here in America. When we should be. That's why I've always been big on the mom and pop stores, which, the pandemic pretty much destroyed most of those guys. I'm always trying to support young entrepreneurs that's going to build stuff here in the United States, that's going to employ people, that's going to give us American-made products. I grew up in the 80s and 90s where everything was American-made. Now you go buy something, it's so cheap that you got to rebuy it in a few months after use. We've become so technology dependent that we rely on Taiwan for 60% of our chips that are causing hellacious issues because there's not enough. There's so much demand, there's a shortage. Because we want to push for all this green. Well, how green is it when you're raping and stripping the earth of the natural resources to make these things? They don't talk about that side. How much nickel, copper, gold has to be mined from the earth to make these things. But now, we're pushing this Green Deal. Our solar panels. You guys knew how much stuff it takes to make a solar panel and how much natural resources go into it? You would definitely realize it's not green. There's no such thing as green. We should be producing, open up our oil refiners are producing oil. Oh, and his little State of the Union speech which was more of a campaign speech. Oh, I'm gonna open up our oil reserves. I'm gonna this 3 days worth, maybe 4. But everybody's like, oh yeah, we're good. You know, out of that $1 trillion that you're sending over Ukraine, how much oil could that buy to help the economy here, bring down prices? Price of diesel, cheapest I seen it today, and that was in town, was $4.89. I know, just outside town, it's 5 something. Which, in turn, when a trucker's got to spend $2,000 to fill his truck up, it's gonna instantly either slow things down, or the price. We're gonna start feeling the prices at the grocery store, and we are already with the wheat and grain prices going up. We're gonna feel that. We're gonna feel that anything that's delivered, produce, $5.15 in Wisconsin. Yeah, that's expensive. There's over $6 gas price in California, but yet we want to give trillions of dollars to Ukraine, a non-NATO country. They're not allied with NATO because NATO told them to screw off. No. Think about that. No, I don't. I mean, war's not pretty, but it's been one hell of a distraction, hasn't it? No one's talking about the red wave, which I'm kind of glad. I got tired of hearing it, because it doesn't matter. You're putting the same people, or the like-minded same people, right back in. So it's the same song and dance. When are we gonna break that cycle? When is enough's enough? I mean, really? Do you want $10 gas being the norm? A gallon of milk being $20? Is that what you want as a norm? Because the whole issue is that it never ceased to amaze me. Prices go up at the grocery stores and they never go back down, even when change does happen. We got a Federal Reserve that prints money like it's going out of style, and the value of the American dollar ain't worth the paper it's printed on. So now we're stuck in hyperinflation, but yet they want to send trillions of dollars that we don't have to a third world country. It's, I seen another thing. They approved another, like, I don't know, it was in the billions, in a bill that was meant to be to money appropriations to agencies. But within that bill, our American agencies around here, but in that bill, they added more funding to Ukraine and misappropriation of funds. That has no part being in that bill. Well, yeah, it is more of the same, because it's all people will elect. They'll reelect the same Republicans that are in office right now, because They'll sit there and listen to their same song and dance, same lies that they spew every time. But when as soon as they get reelected, they're back to doing the same old, same old. Same way with the Democrat Party, or whatever label you want to throw on them. They all do the same. You want change? Quit putting these people back in. Find like-minded people that support your values, your things. If you want to make a difference, start going into your communities and finding your leaders and pillars of your community that have the same views and values as you, and elect them into office. Not these rich corporate millionaires, not these investors in pharmaceuticals. So no, I don't want to hear about a damn red wave. I'm glad they're not talking about it. Because it's the same song and dance. And when we do get a few people that aren't on the same mindset, well, they're not allowed on any of the oversight committees. They get blackballed in every which way possible. Because, oh, you're really a minority. We'll just stomp you out. It comes to then the other thing is really caught my attention, which we've known about it, but I don't know how we forget stupid little things like this. But we got to see how the big financial institutes work when they want to cancel somebody out. Do I agree with what Putin's doing? Hell no. He's just another part of the grand scheme problem of things to begin with. But he's not the one that's suffering. The Russian people are. The people always suffer. It's never the ones in power that suffer. In fact, they usually end up somehow making money off all of it and bettering themselves while everybody else suffers. We're starting to see this McCarthyism again, this hatred for another country, its people, which fits right in line with the cancel culture of everything. Oh, somebody's going, oh, you're a communist. No, not even close. Can't stand the communism. Can't stand socialism. I can't stand anything that oppresses the people, that strips them of their freedom. But we're punishing the people. All these sanctions, they're not punishing Putin and his cronies. It's punishing the people. It's actually punishing the people of just not Russia, here in the United States. Because all of our prices are going through the roof. People can barely afford to get by right now. When over half my fucking check, actually more than half, goes for groceries. The other half, what's left, is now going to be spent in gas to get back and forth to work to barely make ends meet. To where I'm deciding, oh, what bills do I want to pay this week so I can have groceries or gas? Should never be that way. I think they're going to push this so far. I believe it. This is a scorched earth tactic. They know they went so far that there's no turning back, so they're going to do whatever in their power to destroy it all, or to completely break the American people. Break their will, break their fight, starve them. That's what they're doing. That's what they've been doing. think it's so fucking funny that they'll give trillions of dollars to some third world country and completely spit on you. Your lives don't matter. You're our slaves. You put money in our pockets, that's all you're worth. Well, let's talk about another reason why many countries want a world war. Population control. World war brings control. Brings control over the people, over the masses. It thins out the population. It's sickening the way these people think. But, I'm inhumane because I don't care what's happening to another country that we should have no business in. That is our problem. It's always been our problem. We are the beacon of hope, but we should not be the sword that is called and used for every conflict. I look at it this way. This country, how it was founded, how it went through its growing pains. We had our Revolutionary War. We've had our Civil War. But yet, we want to intercede in any other country that wants to do those things to better themselves. Instead of minding our own business and let it play out. For good or for worse. Because when the people of the world, and whatever country they live in, when they get so sick and tired of it, had enough, they'll rise up. They'll do exactly what we did to achieve our independence, our freedom. We fought for it. We took it. When changes needed to be made, we had a civil war. But heaven forbid any other country can do that now. The problem is with all these countries and all these governments of the world, they don't know how to mind their own damn business. We got so much stuff here in our own country that needs attention. That we are at a crisis in our own country. We need to focus on our country, not Ukraine, not Canada, not any country outside of the U.S. We need to focus on our infrastructure, securing our borders that anybody can just walk through. We don't need to be sending our border patrol to Poland to take care of refugees. We don't need to send our men and women in the services over to another conflict that they don't need to be in. We don't need another Vietnam where it wasn't even a war because we were on basically a police mission. The French, being typical French, call in and ask us to help them. The police, and they bail, run, turncoats. They're good at. Hence the term turncoat. And we get stuck in Vietnam. Same thing. We're looking at Ukraine, whether it's not a peacekeeping police mission, basically. Oh, we're not going to send troops there. Well, I found it funny that you said you sent the 82nd over there. The 82nd don't train nobody. Period. They're not a training force. They're an elite fighting force. They're usually the first ones in to lay out subterfuge and secret missions that go undetected before the other forces come in. But everybody's like, oh, like, we're not sending. Okay. What's our second doing over there? You know, I don't see this going anywhere, really. I don't. It's the classic example of mad. Nobody's going to push the button. Nobody's going to fire that nuke because it assures mutual mass destruction. But one day, you will have that psychotic, that schizophrenic psychopath that would rather see it all burn. There's the exception to the rule. Putin is not in that category. The little fat man in North Korea might be in that category, though. Just saying. But they all see it. They see we have a weak administration and we have a weak president. We have a president that can't form a sentence, right, and read a teleprompter. They wouldn't be pulling. They wouldn't have pulled this bullshit if Obama was in office. Much as I hate to say that, but that's the truth. I mean, shit, he was the king of bombing people. He dropped more bombs than we ever dropped. And then we had Trump. He was unpredictable. You know what? He'll be out of office in 4 or 8 years. We're just gonna chill. It's business as usual. But guess what? He made it 4 years, and guess what? It's business as usual. The little fat man, North Korea's testing weapons again. China's running amok all over the place. Putin's stretching his authority. It's what happens when you elect weak people into office. And is things going to get any better? No. They don't want it to get better. They got their foot on your neck, and they're not going to let up. Yes, I foresee this playing out for a while. It might go from one conflict to the next. We're going to have an economic crisis out of this world. That's subject to make the Great Depression look like it was just a depression. Because people ain't making it right now. I've watched it become what used to be an employer's market to the employee market. Yes. Do I like my job. I love my job. That's why I'm still there. Because I could sure as hell go across the street and make damn more money than I'm making now. But with that, am I making more money? No, because I've jumped a tax bracket and I'm going to get taxed out of the ass. So making $25 compared to $16, I'm actually, I'd have a little extra cash in the pocket, but I'd be getting taxed a hell of a lot more. Everybody where I work in a finishing department, so everybody we paint their products for, pay their employees more. They keep going up. And it's ridiculous to watch because now we can't keep employees. Because why? Okay, we'll just go here until we get this phone call. Then we'll go over here so we can make more money. And now, right now, people are wanting to make more money so they can afford the cost of the inflation that's going on. So they're jumping jobs to the next high-paying job. And they're still not making ends meet. You could hit the lotto right now, which is at what the Powerball's at 112 million after taxes. Yeah, it'd be around 80 million. I'll put this. I've seen how fast $5 million would go. By the time you pay off your bills, this is by the time you pay off your bills, pay off your house, fix the things that you've been wanting to fix forever that needed to be fixed in your house. Yeah, it don't last long. You spend money quicker than you could actually get it. Because usually when you give that large sum, it's already spent. Like I said, you pay off all your bills, all your credit card bills, all your debts. There's a big chunk of that gone. Pay off your house, pay off your cars. Now, definitely going to want to fix the house back up. Redo your roof, redo your sub-basements, your pipes, your electric. Okay, there's another chunk gone. And before you know it, within a couple of years, all that's gone. Because you don't have that coming in every year. You don't have millions coming back in. It's a one-time deal, and you're going to do what the smart thing is to do, pay off everything. But now that you have all that, you've also jumped multiple tax brackets. So you're getting taxed more, so it runs out quicker. Next thing you know, you're back to square one. Yeah, there's some people out there smart enough to make investments, but you know what I say about that? You might as well be shooting dice. It's the luck of the roll. Look at the volatility of stock markets, the volatility of cryptocurrency. It's up, down, constantly. There's no such thing as a sure investment. Not with the way things are going. Prices going up, going down, going up, going down, but it's not going down in the businesses. It's not going down in the grocery stores. It's not going down at the gas pump right now. But what keeps going? Then, when we're sending all these trillions to Ukraine, it's we, the taxpayers, that's paying that. Going to have to pay that back. So then you're going to need to tax us more. So you're going to need to raise taxes to cover the debt they created. It's a never-ending cycle. And the only ones that benefit off it are the ones in charge. They're the ones that are making the money off it. Somehow, some way, they always come out on top making money off their investments, which should be illegal. Shit. Instead of giving trillions to Ukrainians, maybe they should have talked about giving people stimulus. Now, I'm not a fan of that because we've seen how that worked. People got free handouts and didn't want to go back to work. But here we are. I try not to dwell on the negativity of things because it's pointless. Lessons I've learned a long time ago. I'll get by. I always have. So I got behind on the bills. I didn't stress about it. I know somehow, some way, everything will work out, and it did. Everything works out. But that's a hard mindset to have when you get yourself behind, when you're barely making ends meet. That's a mindset that you gotta train over the years and believe in, practice. It will all work out. I'm not going to focus on the negativity of things. I'm still going to do me. I'm still going to do the things I want to do. Sorry about that. I got disconnected. It's been a while since that's happened. But in the end, guys, it's what we make of things. I can choose to let all this get me down, and it's not doing me no good. It's not doing my health no good. It's not doing my mind state no good. I'm going to do me. I'm going to do things that make me happy. I'm going to continue to try to do podcasts when I can, when I'm able to. Might not be like I'm used to, because, like I said, I'm working still on overtime. At least the 10, 12-hour days are done. But I'm still on 50-hour work week. And I work 11-hour days, so. This whole sales pitch of, we're going to go down to 4 10-hour days, and we had 3 days off, seeing that yet. Excuse me. But, worked out just fine for this time of the year. When I needed it the most, it was there. Good, because usually this time of the month, time of the year, it's our slow time, so I'm not complaining. But I am over it. I put way too many hours in last year. My goal for this year was not to do that much overtime. And that's the thing. I know a lot of people are stressed. A lot of people are worried about. And it's a fear campaign. It hasn't ended yet. They're still pushing the fear. Now they're pushing the fear of World War III, nuclear retaliation. It's like the 50s all over again with the nuclear state. What will be will be. That's it. That's like we can influence it. We can talk about things and hope that enough people start waking up to things and want to make changes. And like I said, the changes first start at the home, then the community. Changes. I can't do nothing about what's going on over in Ukraine. And I wouldn't want to. It's none of my business. It's not my country. Not when we have our own crises going on here. We've got a homeless rate that's growing by the day. We got homeless vets out there that should not be homeless. We got a veteran suicide rate that's out of this world. Add on to it the suicide rate from normal people that what happened during the pandemic. That's happening now because inflation, prices are through the roof. They can't get by. That's in our own country. We got people that's starving. That's not even making it from paycheck to paycheck. No, my focus is not on what's happening in Ukraine, what Russia's doing. None of our damn business. We need to focus on our country. We got an infrastructure that's failing. And I mean failing. But yet they want to push, we need all these electric cars. We need everybody by 2025, 2030. Over half the population to be in electric cars. It's unaffordable. that our electric grid cannot support. Oh, let's do solar panels. Let's go. Yeah, well, guess what? Solar panels work fine and dandy when there's sun. When there's no sun, guess what? No energy being put in. And it only takes one solar flare to screw the whole system up. Your electric car, useless. All your technology, useless. Our electric grid, as it stands, useless if a solar flare like happened 40, 50 some years ago happens again. Oh, it's global warming. Yeah, our sun's getting older. It's getting bigger. Oh, wait. It's getting bigger. That means stronger solar flares. Granted, that's over thousands, hundreds of years, but hey, it has gotten bigger since then. That bright, shiny ball on the sky is not going to be there forever. Yes, it's probably for all of our lifetimes. Yeah, good. We don't have to worry about it. But eventually, somewhere down our family line in the future, they are going to worry about it. But it has an impact on the Earth. Anything out there that happens in outer space has an influence on this Earth. Our moon influences our tides. In fact, it influences women's menstrual cycles. As things age, as the sun gets older, yes, it heats things up more. I learned a long time ago, between the universe and Mother Nature, give it up. When she's had enough, oh, you guys are overpopulated it. We're just trying to bend things down, and it will happen. It's happened to every civilization throughout history. Not the people. Mother Nature's killed more people than people's killed people. It's the natural cycle of things. But no, that's called global warming, climate change, whatever colorful label you want to use at the time. Do we have an impact? Yes, it's minute, believe it or not. Science has already proven that, but there we go, science. Who pays who gets the funding and who don't. There's where your control as scientist comes from. Yep, we're giving you funding, so you're going to say this. But yet, core samples, tree ring samples have shown completely a different story. And it's documented. It's scientific fact. But what is also scientific fact is what these ones that are being paid to say it is as well. It goes back to the saying, history is written by the conquered, not the conqueror. Or the conqueror, not the conquered. He who's in charge controls the information. You know what the most valuable commodity, the most valuable thing is in the world? Information. You can't put a price tag on it. The value of it. Information is more valuable than any currency. He who controls the information controls the people. He who controls the secret, the topple, those that are trying to control, also have power. And usually don't end up well. You know what the next most powerful thing is? And we can take it clear back to the beginning of time. And God spoke. And the Word was created. Your voice, your words. That is more powerful thing in this earth. Why? Because it can create, destroy, build, give hope, give faith. Your voices is powerful. Your words are powerful. It is the most powerful tool you possess, the most powerful weapon you'll ever possess. Learn to use it. Quit being controlled and told you can't use it. Why is cancel culture so important? Because it destroys your voice, your words. Why is censorship so important? Because it destroys your voice, your words. It makes you submissive. And for submissive, it turns you into a slave, a puppet. Because you can't speak. You can't create. That's information. That's the most important positive information I could ever give unto you. Is that you have all the power. You have all the control through your voice, through your words. Learn to use them. Quit letting other people control your voice. Quit letting other people use their words to influence the information that comes to you. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Short one. But like I said, I wanted to get one in. I wanted to ramble. I just wanted to ramble, honestly. I mean, really, I've been so tired I haven't even wanted to do the daily commutes. Like I said, I've been doing 11, 12, 13-hour days, and it's caught up to me. Plus, already on 5 days, 10-hour shifts. And you top on having to stay over an extra hour or two. And I already go in an hour early yet. It's the reason I haven't done many podcasts. Plus, I don't know. I just don't want to talk about the same shit. I don't want to be in that echo chamber. And you get tired of talking about these things. There's other people that's doing it. Let them do it. I want to come on here, have fun, enjoy my time. Engage with the little audience I have and be happy. And for the most part, that happens all the time. So that makes me happy. I still enjoy doing these. And I do have a few things planned. I'm actually going to be uploading a few videos, which is, I haven't done that in a while. Of things I've been working on, putting together. So something interesting to look forward to for the next few months. I guess I'll take my time with some of these because, like I just mentioned it. And that's actually what it's going to be titled is, and God spoke. Which I know throw a bunch of people off. Hey, you're not a Christian. You're not really. No, I'm spiritual, but there's a reason I use that title because it's creation. It is the true power of our voice. How important our voices and our words are. It is creation. And it's something we need people to start doing more. Use their voices. So I'm looking forward to finishing and getting that video uploaded. Probably won't be till the beginning of next month. seriously actually taking my time with it, having fun with it. Because, I'm all about the words, labels. And it's something I want to keep it educational too. I want you guys to see how powerful your voices are and how dangerous it is when you let people come in and censor you, cancel you, try to control you, manipulate you. How dangerous creating anagrams and abbreviations are. Or how beneficial they are. Yes, the sword is truly mightier than the pen. The pen is truly, truly more mightier than the sword. My bad. I'll blame it on the crown peach. Hey, speaking of alcohol, I went into the liquor store today to get some crown peach. I have to keep behind the counter now. Now I know that it's on because the limit's all one bottle. I need to go back next week get another one. They had vodka on the shelf. I'm not a vodka fan. I actually don't own a single bottle of vodka. Can't stand it. But, there was that talk how and Ohio did put a ban on vodka on the shelves, but here in Indiana, they still got vodka. Take that, motherfuckers. Right? And I was shocked the prices of liquor didn't go up. I was looking for that, especially, with that, for all you guys out there like your liquor. Or for all those that know the value of liquor and an STHF scenario, you might want to stock up on some because of wheat and grain prices. Liquor prices will go up. For all of you that drive in ethanol, guess what? Those will go up too. Just saying. But like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed. It's a short one. Hope you enjoyed the ramblings. It's been a while. I'm going to try to get more ramblings of the chaotic mind in because it's more of a benefit for me than you. And I enjoy them where I can just ramble on topic to topic. But enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be safe. Find something to make you happy and not focus on all this chaos. Let me handle the chaos. That's my sphere of expertise. You guys all have a good day and enjoy.